I want to tell you about something that still makes my skin crawl whenever I remember it. This story doesn't involve ghosts, no demons, no blood. But what happened shouldn't be possible. This experience belonged to my older sister. I'll call her Mara. It happened long before CCTV cameras and cell phones became part of everyday life. Back then, people still wrote letters, real ones sealed in envelopes delivered by hand. That's how Mara met Adrian. They were pen pals. At first, their letters were simple. Small talk, random thoughts, stories about their day. Over time, those letters became longer, more personal, more intimate. Even though they lived fairly close to each other, they were both too shy to meet, so they stayed in the safety of ink and paper, building something that felt real. Eventually, feelings formed. They confessed, they exchanged photographs, and soon after they became a couple. They did meet only a few times, but Mara was sure of one thing. Adrian was real. He even introduced her to his parents. They welcomed her warmly, and she remembered their faces clearly. Then, without warning, Adrian disappeared. The letters stopped. Days passed, then weeks. Mara waited for a month, forcing herself not to go to his house. She convinced herself that he had simply lost interest. Maybe he found someone else. After a month and a half, she couldn't take it anymore. She went to his house. The moment she arrived, something felt wrong. Adrian's parents looked at her with confusion, almost amusement. Then they called for their son. A man stepped forward. His name was Adrian. Same surname, same address. But he was not the Adrian Mara knew. His face was different. His voice was unfamiliar. Everything about him felt wrong. Thinking it was some kind of sick joke, Mara demanded proof. The parents showed her his ID, his birth certificate. Everything checked out. What terrified her most was this. They were the same parents she remembered. The same people Adrian had introduced her to. Yet they swore they had never met her before. Desperate, Mara asked the neighbors. One by one, they told her the same thing. Adrian had lived there for years. There was no other Adrian. One neighbor whispered something that froze her blood. Maybe the one you knew was just an illusion. Mara went home that day, barely able to think. Her mind replayed every letter, every word, every memory. There had to be proof. The letters, the photographs. She searched for them immediately. And that's when reality finally broke. Every single letter Adrian had written was blank. No words, no ink, just empty paper. The photographs were worse. They showed places, streets, buildings, empty scenery. There were no people in them. No Adrian. As a last hope, Mara waited for the mail carrier, the man who used to deliver the letters. When she asked him about Adrian, he frowned. He didn't remember ever delivering a single letter to her. To this day, we don't know who Adrian was, or where he came from, or if he ever existed at all. But sometimes, when you look closely enough, you start to wonder if reality ever glitched. and Mara simply noticed. I just want to tell a story about an experience that still haunts me. To this day, I don't know whether I somehow slipped into another universe, like something out of Doctor Strange, or if it was all just a dream. Are you familiar with what people call a glitch in the Matrix? Because that's the only way I can describe what happened to me. I was around 14 or 15 years old when my family and I visited Lourdes Grotto in France. We went there on a pilgrimage, visiting churches, sightseeing, completely in awe of the cave where, according to belief, the Virgin Mary once appeared. At the bottom was the grotto itself. Above it stood the church. We only managed to attend Mass once. There were too many people. That day I was wearing a shirt with a hoodie, striped white and blue. I also had flared pants on, since that was the style back then. Inside the church, the crowd was overwhelming. My cousins kept pushing me forward, deeper into the mass of people, until I completely lost control of where I was going. I was just being carried by the crowd. Then I collided with someone's shoulder. I immediately apologized, but never got a good look at them. My cousins kept pushing me forward without stopping. They only stopped when several nuns scolded us. They were incredibly tall. We didn't understand their language, but we didn't need to. Their faces were furious. Then, fast forward to 2017. I was 21 years old when we returned to Lourdes Grotto for another pilgrimage. The crowd was just as thick. Honestly, everything felt like déjà vu. But this is where things become terrifying. While we were listening to the Mass inside the church, someone bumped into my shoulder. They apologized. When I turned around, I caught a glimpse of a striped white and blue hoodie, worn by a young girl being pushed forward by 3 teenagers. I didn't think much of it. They disappeared almost instantly, swallowed by the crowd. After Mass, we struggled to make our way out. My cousin Luca suddenly started laughing. He had been with me during our first visit to France when we were kids. He told me he remembered how, when we were younger, they used to push me toward the front. How I kept apologizing to everyone I bumped into. I was about to tell him that this time I was the one who had been bumped into by a group of teenagers. But then it hit me. Suddenly, I felt dizzy, sick, like I was about to vomit, because I realized something horrifying. I had just collided with myself. It could have been a coincidence, but the thought still gives me chills, knowing it's possible that in that moment, reality glitched, and I crossed paths with my younger self. I told my cousins about it later. They said it was a shame, because only Luca and I were in France when it happened. They wished they had seen their younger selves too. But even if they were there, I wouldn't have recognized them. I didn't realize the truth until it was too late. I didn't even tell Luca right away. That experience was deeply unsettling, Sir Raven, and sometimes I can't help but think, If only I had known I was looking at my younger self. There are so many warnings, so many pieces of advice, so many things about life that I should have told her. I want to share something that happened to me, something I still don't fully understand. You can call me Daniel. What I'm about to tell you is my own personal experience. Even now, I'm still confused about everything that happened in my life. I was with Evelyn for a very long time. We were married for 12 years, and before that, we dated for 5. We chose not to have children. It was a mutual decision. I knew everything about her, especially the things that could put her life in danger. That's why, no matter how much she wanted certain foods, I never allowed her to eat them. Evelyn had a severe allergy, an allergy that nearly killed her once. The medication didn't work fast enough. Her entire body swelled, and she struggled to breathe. I had to rush her to the hospital that night. After that incident, I made a rule. When it came to food, I had the final say. Evelyn had an incredible memory. Between the two of us, she was the smart one, the one who never forgot important details. She was also patient and forgiving. We always managed to fix our problems quickly. Everything changed in 2018. One night, Evelyn came home late. She said she had to work overtime. I asked if she had eaten, and she said yes. Then she went straight to the bedroom. I'll never forget the look on her face that night. She always smiled when she came home. That night, she didn't. From that day on, everything felt wrong. It was as if my wife had been reset. Evelyn became forgetful. She couldn't remember my birthday, not even her own. She forgot the name of our dog. There was something else I hadn't mentioned. That night she came home. Our dog wouldn't stop barking at her. Things between us only got worse. One day she screamed at me because I hadn't washed the dishes right away. I was shocked. She was shouting, calling me lazy. She had never raised her voice at me before. That was one of the reasons I loved her. I remember thinking, this is not my wife. That was when I came up with a plan. I needed to be sure. I remembered her peanut allergy. I bought a jar of peanut butter. If she really was Evelyn, she wouldn't touch it. She hated the smell, and she knew it could kill her. One morning during breakfast, I set the trap. I placed bread and the peanut butter on the table. Evelyn took a piece of bread, opened the jar, spread the peanut butter generously, and ate it. That was the most horrifying bite of bread I have ever seen. I waited for her skin to break out in rashes, for her eyes to turn red, for her breathing to slow. Nothing happened. She looked at me, smiled, and said the peanut butter was delicious. That was only one of many things that happened before I finally accepted the truth. Something had happened to her. Or worse, she had been replaced. We are separated now. She agreed immediately. She didn't ask why. She didn't argue. That was when I knew without a doubt, that she was no longer the woman I married. There were no rumors of another relationship. Even our friends were confused by the sudden change. Her parents asked me what happened to their daughter. I had no answer, because even now, I still don't know what happened to Evelyn.